Hello, welcome to a new video. Today I would like to do another DIY and I would like to make a bag for all of the stuff that you see here. I basically got my DSLR and my lens, got a microphone and some batteries and my new toy, a gimbal for my phone camera. And I would like a place to be able to put all of these and to carry them all around. Something with lots of compartments that I could put all of the stuff into. And I don't have such a thing at the moment, so I'm just going to make it. And I've got some wool. And I'm going to upcycle this old wool that I kept to make a bag for myself, for my equipment. Here's my design, and this is what I would like my bag to look like. I would like to put some zippers in the front, to have room for cables, for the microphone, for the batteries, and I've got some zippers that I repurposed from an old jacket of mine that I would like to use for that. And I've got two ideas of how to structure the bag. So my first idea was to have the gimbal in the bottom, but then I thought if I put the bag down, the rest of the equipment would be pressing on it. That's why I thought I could also put it on the side like this. And I put my camera on top of my lens in my bag at the moment anyway, so that shouldn't be an issue. So I'm more inclined to go with this version of things. And then I already started to plan out how I would be cutting the fabric in order to make up the bag. And I've got an old bag strap that I could reuse to put the bag over my shoulder. So if you're interested in my project, please keep watching. So here's the back strap, and as you can see, it's very similar in color to the fabric. So I think it matches pretty well. Now this is from an old bag, and the fabric itself is from an old cloak, so it's a proper upcycling project. Now, I'm also worried that the back strap is a little bit thin and that it would hurt my shoulder to carry such a big weight on it. And for that, I found this. So this just goes around the strap and it serves to evenly distribute the weight of the bag onto my shoulder. So I've started off by laying down my objects that I want to be carrying in my bag. So I know how much space roughly I need. And I'm also leaving some seam allowance to put the pieces together. So I'm going to be using one large piece of fabric, and then I will be adding a smaller one, and I'm hoping that this will be just about enough to do that whole long piece there. So as you can see, I have attached the two panels together. So this will be the bottom of my bag. It would hopefully fit all items into it. And the next step would be to put the two edges together. But first, I need to make sure to get everything out of the way. I want to include a zipper in the bottom, and I'm gonna do that right now. So I'm gonna put the zipper in so that when I put a second layer in, that would hold, that would separate the lens and the camera, then I'm not gonna have to fumble around too much. So there we are, the zipper is in place. So the next step, I think, should be to make the middle. So a compartment that will separate all of the items from one another. So we've got the inner part ready with the seam allowances, and it would sit on the inside roughly like this. So now I can think about attaching the sides together. And the seam allowance that I have left means they would fold in a little. And make a corner just like that. So this is the point where I'm trying to be a bit more precise. So I'm gonna mark out how far it needs to sit in order for everything to line up. And I'm gonna use a white marker to mark out these lines, and then I'm gonna attach this end right here, and then it's gonna be sitting up like that, and I'm gonna attach this end in the middle of the sidewall. So I'm essentially folding this bit over and attaching it to the walls on either side. So I'm using the pins to keep it nice and straight, and I've also cut into the sides so that I can then attach the sides in the same manner. So one side is done, and I'm gonna attempt to show you with this poor lighting situation. I'm sorry about that. So we've got the wall sitting at this angle, and you've got the compartment like that. As you can see, I've double attached each side for extra security. Kind of done the same with all the bits, all the sides. This is the part as well where it looks really confusing, and I have to keep in mind how it's going to look in the end. But I think that's actually the fun part about tailoring, just having it all come together, and you have to keep it in your head and try not to lose track. And believe me, I've lost track before and I had to undo things, so fingers crossed. So this is slowly starting to take shape, as you can hopefully see. This is the inner construction attached. Got this shorter chamber. On the other side we have the slightly longer chamber for the gimbal. And now the tricky part, to attach the sides. Right, so that doesn't look too bad. I've attached them on the inside and then turned the side on itself to seal off the stitch, and then when you turn it over you get a nice clean edge on the outside. So that's the first side almost done. What I have basically done is to inside press these two pieces of fabric together and then turn them inside out so that I know exactly how to place them, and then I sewed them together. I've got the inner construction, and this is the edge of it, which still needs to be attached. So since there is a bit of a gap, I've decided to attach an extra piece of fabric to close the gap that you see here. There we go. Attached with a double stitch. Well, stitched it twice. And then on the inside, you can see where I've attached the connecting bit. So there we go. Both sides are done. This is the front. Got the compartments inside. one compartment, and here's the other compartment. Now I need to come up with something to do with these slightly longer bits, and I'm thinking I should make some kind of edge, so that should protect it a little bit. And why don't we put a few things inside? It's pretty heavy, I have to say, but it does seem to keep the things separate. So then what is missing is the flap, and I've actually got this artificial leather material, which is a fabric leftover, and I'm thinking I could use that because that would make it pretty waterproof. Alright, I have attached the front, and it's wool on the inside, and we've got pleather on the outside. I've got the front pockets, and I've separated a second pocket so I can carry different things. And then I have sewn these onto the bag so I can obviously attach the strap. And that is pretty much it. Now it's time to attach the strap, and then it'll be ready. Turns out the shoulder strap is much too long and I had to make an extra hole. So possibly in the future I'll make a special strap for this bag, but for now I'm happy with how it turned out.